There is an old adage, thick and blue, tried and true, thin and crispy, way too risky. We're speaking of ice, my friends, and before you venture onto it, you've always got to test the thickness. But what if the unthinkable should happen? Every year, thousands of people suffer near tragedies on the ice. For first responders, being able to rescue those in danger on ice or in cold water takes very special training. Jennifer Crompton went along with one group as they practiced the life-saving techniques they hope they'll never have to use.
It's Christmas Eve, 1998, and a dramatic rescue is underway. The scene is Concord's Turkey Pond. A snowmobiler has gone through the ice, and crews are working against time to get to him and save the man's life.
What you should have is a ladder, a backboard, a boogie board, a ring buoy, a sling.
Almost a decade later, and potential rescuers are fine-tuning techniques to swing into action when that 911 call comes in. It's 7 degrees, the wind is howling, and 30-plus trainees are gathered on a mostly frozen pond near Peterborough.
Once a person is in the water unprotected, meaning they don't have an ice rescue suit, they basically have 10 to 15 minutes before they lose all sense and feeling and sensation in their upper and lower extremities. Basically, when a fire department gets a call, especially a volunteer fire department, they have to respond to the station, don their ice rescue suits, get in their apparatus, respond to the incident, deploy their equipment, and get out to the victim, which may be 100 yards or 300 yards offshore. So by the time they get there, it may be 10, 12 minutes. So every second is absolutely critical, and that's why departments need to pre-plan the incident, they need to train for the incident, and they need to have the equipment necessary to support the operation.
It's critical for my tension crew, my tether line crew, to maintain tension on this line so the basket structure doesn't submarine underneath the ice shelf.
Fire, rescue, and law enforcement agencies from Canada, Michigan, Ohio, Washington, D.C., New York, and all around New England are here to not only be trained, but to be trained to train others, too. Trainees are shown how to work quickly and safely with the simplest and the most sophisticated equipment. And they learn how to communicate in a chaotic environment where every second counts.
Tension on that line, tension. Too much tension. Step into it. Bring him over. Go. Very effective piece of equipment.
We asked today how many people have been involved in an incident in the past year, and it's amazing how many have been involved. Years ago, it was unheard of, but a lot of people have a lot more recreation time these days. A lot of people are venturing out on the ice. Our warming climate is giving us some very precarious situations on the ice. There have been a number of incidents, and probably over half of those incidents have been because mom, dad, or little Johnny have been going out after the pet dog.
They work on the premise that no ice is considered safe. That's me, following the instructor's directions to distribute my weight across the ice and enter the water feet first. Before they learn how to rescue someone, they have to learn how to get in the water and propel themselves and how to get themselves out safely.
The water was surprisingly warm, obviously. 7 degrees out here, at least 32 in there. It actually felt warmer being in the water than out. But I can't imagine what it would be like not to have this really thick suit on. It was buoyant, kept me dry and warm. More importantly, it gave me time to figure out how to get myself up onto the ice.
They suggest anyone venturing onto the ice carry ice picks, critical for helping get traction to pull yourself out onto the ice. Snowmobilers should wear coveralls and something with buoyancy. It's smart to carry a plastic whistle And if you do fall through, try not to panic. Take slow, deep breaths to avoid hyperventilating.
While we're still waiting for help, one thing a person can do is to actually take off their gloves and put their skin down on the ice with the hope that their skin is going to stick to the ice, just to keep them on the ice shelf in case they lose consciousness before the rescue personnel can arrive.
Anyone on the ice, including rescuers, are potential victims, especially because of something called our torso or gasp reflex.
And that's a defense mechanism to prevent water from going down the lungs, but it also prevents air from going down. So they could be in a suit that's designed to keep them warm, afloat, and dry, but they can actually suffocate if the airway shuts down as a result of the unprotected airway.
By the end of the day, the ice rescue technicians will be trained and certified to respond to a cold water and ice rescue incident. It's training that pays off, as it did back in 1998 when one very grateful snowmobiler was saved by Concord area rescuers. And it continues to pay off.
And we hear these stories often from our students, and it's great satisfaction.